Tonight on Cronkite News, the Diamondbacks fall short in Game 1 of the NLCS and look to bounce back tonight in Game 2.
Plus, we have the name of the person filling in the role as the Phoenix Mercury's new head coach.
And after several weeks since the ousting of former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, House members meet today to try to elect a new speaker. We'll have a report from Washington. And with that, good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Matt Venezia.
And I'm Jeff Hinkle. Thank you for joining us.
On Monday, the D-backs and the Phillies kicked off the NL Championship Series in Philly. And pitcher Zach Gallen's homecoming was spoiled as Arizona earned its first postseason loss 5-3 in Game 1.
Yeah, the D-backs tried to respond back with 3 late runs, but they just couldn't close this one out. And the team needed to sleep on this game as they were just within reach.
You know, there's a portion of our lineup that was fairly silent that is very capable of carrying this ball club. And, you know, with Zach giving up 5 runs in that part of the lineup, you know, possibly not contributing the way they normally have or can, it tells me a lot about this team that we're balanced and we could be dangerous.
We'll see if the D-backs can pull off this Game 2 before coming back to Phoenix for the always critical and crucial Game 3 on Thursday.
And fans are showing their support for the team in all kinds of ways. Let's go to Trey Matthews now, who found D-backs fans who are coming together to catch every minute of the action.
Are in Philly for the first couple games of the series. Fans still have been gathering in downtown Phoenix to watch the games at their local bars and restaurants. They came out to support the team last night for Game 1. Fans gathered at the Guy Fieri restaurant for a watch party to help cheer on the D-backs in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. The community was brought together to help support their favorite baseball team and hopefully see them pull off more upset victories.
The most exciting thing is just being able to get together with friends and family and watching the team together. It's like no better feeling than getting around with your friends, eating food and enjoying the team.
Despite the Snakes falling early, fans are still excited for the possibility of the D-backs returning to the World Series for the first time since 2001.
Optimistically, let's just see if we can win 4 more games and go to the World Series like we did 22 years ago and hope to, you know, write it off. Say that, you know, count us out and we'll show you what we're really made out of.
The anticipation just builds, but I mean, they never leave you hanging. It's always something, always exciting, more to look forward to.
So even though fans are watching the first couple games at home on their TV, they are looking forward to Game 3 here at Chase Field this Thursday. It'll be the D-backs' first home NLCS game in 16 years. In Phoenix, Trey Matthews, Cronkite News.
Phoenix sports were still alive in downtown last night as the Suns came out on top against the Portland Trailblazers. Devin Booker ignited the Suns, draining 4 threes in the first quarter, and it was team basketball from there. 5 players in double figures, 4 of them starters, and the Suns even showed out on defense. Look at Udoka Azubuike swatting this one. Suns stayed in front the entire game, winning 117-106.
From one Phoenix basketball team to another, our Beatrice Martinez joins us now to talk a little bit about the Mercury. B, what do you have for us?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So it's not official yet, but multiple reports say the Mercury selected Nate Tibbetts to be their new head coach. So this past summer, the organization fired Vanessa Nygaard mid-season and named Nikki Blue the interim head coach for the remainder of the year. Tibbetts has been the assistant coach for the Orlando Magic since 2021. Tibbetts is reportedly finalizing a deal to make him the highest paid coach in WNBA history. No official numbers have been released yet, but the deal is expected to surpass Aces head coach Becky Hammon's pay at more than $1 million. Players have started to react to the news as Sophie Cunningham posted on her Instagram, yes sir. But this hire is also drawing heavy debate on social. Some calling out the fact that Tibbet has never coached in the WNBA or any level of women's basketball and now will become the highest paid. Others say this could set a higher standard for how much WNBA coaches earn and are now trusting in new Mercury owner Matt Ishbia. We are waiting official word from the Mercury, and we'll see if they ask Nikki Blue to stay on the coaching staff.
That's right, and we'll have to see if Tibbetts can help turn things around for the Mercury next summer. And with that, thank you, B, for joining us.
Anytime.
The Arizona Cardinals fell to 1-5 this past Sunday following a 26-9 loss against the LA Rams. Despite the losing record, the Cardinals are playing competitive football. They're just not quite able to close things out. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Bunnell is in Tempe with more.
It's been a tale of two halves for the Arizona Cardinals in 2023. The first two quarters have been great, where the Cardinals have outscored opponents 87-64. But the fourth quarter is where things have gotten dicey. Arizona's been outscored 64-7 and shut out in all but one fourth quarter this season.
We got to strain a little bit harder mentally. I think we got to finish games. We got to execute when it comes to crunch time. You know, those are the biggest moments. That's when, you know, it's do or die in those moments, and we just got to do better. We got to execute better. We got to pick up the blocks. We got to pass pro. We got to catch better. Everything. Our whole offense. We got to just play better as an offense. Play together. We're good enough. We're calling the right plays. We're doing the right things. We just got to execute better.
It certainly won't be getting any easier to turn things around in crunch time, as the Cardinals are heading to Seattle next week to play at Lumen Field, a stadium known for its high decibel levels.
Yeah, they pride themselves on being loud. I haven't played there in a while, but we got to be able to operate. But we've played in some tough environments already, but we know that we're going to have to do some different things because it'll be loud, especially on offense. We got to operate and handle it.
Heading into Week 7, 4 of the Cardinals' 5 losses have occurred with Arizona holding the lead at some point in the game. That's the second highest clip in the NFL. Although the Cardinals have been competitive in nearly every contest this year, the Redbirds still have a lot of work to do in terms of closing out games. In Tempe, Ryan Bunnell, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, life continues for a surfing champion in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Matt, he was one of the best surfers in the country on his way to becoming a pro, but a sudden accident changed everything.
But that didn't stop him from surfing, and he turned that personal tragedy into an opportunity to help more people catch a wave, and his inspiring story is next.
And you'll only have a few days to hit the water here because the temperature is about to take a big dip. Your weather forecast is also next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage.
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. Surfing is a very popular sport on the coast, and in California, there's one particular surfer who will inspire others.
Yeah, Matt, and he's making the sport more accessible to everyone. Cronkite News reporter Michaela Nagel with the story from our LA bureau.
Jesse Blauer is a well-known surfer from Pacific Palisades, California. But his story is one that inspires many around the globe. When Jesse was 17 years old, he sustained a critical spinal injury due to a surfing accident in March of 1996. He is now a quadriplegic. It took a few years of trial and error for Blower to design a board because there was no question in his mind that his surfing career was over.
I'd lay on my board and prop myself up with my elbows, and they'd push me into waves, and just super excited to feel that wind and water on my face, and I fell in love with it again.
The transition was difficult not only for him, but also his loved ones. Before his accident, Jesse was named the top 100 surfers in America and was on his way to become a professional.
He was a very free spirit, really enjoyed living life, was always doing fun things. Once he was exposed to surfing, that became his #1 priority. And he quickly showed some real talent in that area.
Jesse went on to become the only 3-time world adaptive surfing champion in the sport he created, and just this year was inducted into the Surfing Walk of Fame.
The guy's a beast. Yeah. I mean, period. You know, he wins all these surfing championships all the time, and he's got the vision that created, Life Rolls On.
Jesse started his Life Rolls On Foundation in 2001, giving thousands of people living with disabilities the opportunity to fish, skate, and surf. This organization now hosts events nationwide.
An event like this could not be possible without the support and encouragement from thousands of dedicated volunteers and adaptive equipment in order to push physical boundaries out of existence.
How his idea of wanting to surf and teach people to surf and helping that has changed so many lives. It's just very inspiring. It's a good feeling.
Jesse continues to be a role model to many as he demonstrates that your circumstances don't have to define your life. In Los Angeles, California, Michaela Nagel, Cronkite News.
Well, back here in the valley, it's still warm enough to take a dip in the pool, even though, Jeff, it's mid-October.
Yeah, that's right. But our Sienna Monet tells us there's a major cool down heading our way.
The weather is going to start to cool down this weekend, but let's take a look at this Tuesday evening's forecast. At about 8 p.m., it's going to be 90 degrees, and then it's going to start to dip down at about 10 p.m. with 84 degrees. Looking across the state, we're going to see some brief rain showers down in Tucson and Sierra Vista with some clouds moving on through, but nothing really is going to be happening here in the valley in Phoenix. Looking across the country, though, hopefully the Diamondbacks brought the heat because they are playing in about mid-50s degree weather right now, which would be right about nice here in Arizona. We are seeing lows as 71 comes here in Phoenix, 36 up at the Grand Canyon, and 32 degrees up in Window Rock as our lowest low across the state. You might want to stay inside to beat the heat because it is going to be 101 degrees here in Phoenix, 79 at the Grand Canyon, and 96 degrees down in Tucson. We are still in those triple-digit numbers with 100 degrees up in Bullhead City. Looking towards the weekend, we're going to see some clear skies come on through with a high of 102 on Friday and a low of 70 degrees, which is above average for about this time of year. Looking to Saturday and Sunday, it is going to be some more clear sunny skies moving on through with a high of 96 on Sunday. And looking into your work week for next week, we're going to have a high of 89 degrees on Monday with a 20% chance of rain, and it's going to cool down all the way to 80 degrees on Wednesday. Sienna Monet from the Cronkite Weather Center, back to you.
Coming up next, your Cronkite news from across the nation.
And the leader of Palestine pulls out of a meeting with President Biden just hours before he's scheduled to leave for the Middle East. That's next.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Good evening, I'm Kenji Ito, and here are the latest news headlines. Vice President Kamala Harris visited Northern Arizona University in Flagstaff today, the last stop on her tour of colleges around the nation. Her administration is calling it the Fight for Our Freedoms Tour, hoping in part to reach young voters of color. Today, she discussed what she and the Biden administration say are important issues to these voters. Arizona was her 9th and final stop in her nationwide college tour. Meanwhile, President Biden is set to travel to the Middle East tomorrow as concerns grow over the Israel-Hamas war potentially expanding into a larger regional conflict. The president will meet with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He also will travel to Jordan to meet with the Arab leaders, but the Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas pulled out of a meeting with the president today after an airstrike in Gaza that reportedly killed hundreds of people. Hamas officials are blaming Israel for the strike, but the Israeli military said it's not responsible. It's been 2 weeks since the House ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy, bringing work in Congress to a grinding halt. And after endless closed-door meetings, House members met today to try to elect a new speaker, as Cronkite News reporter Renee Romo tells us from our Washington bureau.
Arizona lawmakers voted on party lines today as the House tried to elect a new speaker after 2 weeks of gridlock. But not all members fell in line, as the fractious Republican caucus again refused to back a single candidate.
The House to come to order.
Ohio Republican Jim Jordan needed 217 votes to win the speaker's job, but he was only able to get 200 today.
No person having received a majority of the whole number of votes cast by surname, the speaker has not been elected.
While all 212 Democrats voted for Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, 20 Republicans bucked their vote and voted for other candidates.
There's nothing more political than a leadership race within a conference.
Many Democrats were like Arizona Congressman Raul Grijalva, who called Jordan too extreme and unfit to lead the House. But some Republicans were like Tucson Congressman Juan Ciscomani, who said it is time for the House to get back to work.
So I think Congressman Ciscomani's vote was just rooted in common sense as much as frustration.
Clearly, not all Republicans felt that way.
This is a day, at least so far, that it's revenge of the moderates after what took place with Speaker McCarthy.
Congress has been gridlocked for 2 weeks after conservatives voted to oust former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, a fellow Republican. But experts agree that lawmakers need to get back to work. Another government shutdown is looming.
The moment that Gates filed the motion to vacate, the chances of a shutdown went up significantly.
Rose said he does not think Congress is in critical territory when it comes to keeping the government open. But Noble said lawmakers are not making themselves look good with their continued inaction.
Because I talked about this being a bunch of toddlers. We've not seen this level of chaos in the House ever, at least not in my lifetime.
As the House was voting today, the clock was ticking on congressional business, with aid to Ukraine and Israel stalled and another government shutdown looming a month from today. In Washington, Renee Romo, Cronkite News.
Voting will resume tomorrow. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump was back in court for his civil trial today, and he railed against the latest gag order placed on him in a separate federal election interference case. The gag order restricts Trump's ability to publicly target court personnel, potential witnesses, or even special counsel Jack Smith and his staff. His attorneys have said they plan to appeal, and before entering the trial this morning, Trump took a moment to speak to reporters about his feelings regarding this judge's decision.
We're being railroaded, and I have other trials we're being railroaded. You saw yesterday where they take away my right to speak. I won't be able to speak like I'm speaking to you, and I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm saying the truth.
Some good news when it comes to the economy. Retail sales across the country are up, increasing more than expected. The Commerce Department says sales increased 0.7% in September. That's down just a bit from the month before, but well above the 0.3% economists were predicting. Sales grew across the board, with specialty stores and car sales seeing increases, but clothing and electronics did see decreases last month. And the city of Seattle is raising its minimum wage to nearly $20 an hour. That makes it one of the highest minimum wages in the country, but Seattle also has one of the highest costs of living. Beginning next year, the minimum wage will be $19.97 an hour. There will be an exceptional for some small businesses that have over 500 or fewer employees. By the way, the minimum wage in the city of Phoenix is currently $13.85. Now to Florida, where a speeding car lost control and crashed into a canal. And as you can see, the whole thing was caught on camera. It happened over last weekend in Cape Coral, Florida. It seemed that two cars were racing down the road when one lost control and flew right into the canal. A neighbor jumped in to save the driver, but once they pulled him out, the driver took off. There was a child playing in the yard, but the good news is that no one was hurt. And that's it for tonight's news headlines. In the newsroom, I'm Kenji Ito, Cronkite News. Back to Matt and Jeff at the desk.
Coming up next, they say politics is a dog-eat-dog world.
So would a four-legged friend actually have a chance?
This unusual candidate is running for mayor and putting that question up to the test.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
and develop your skills with the latest technology.
Three, two, one. Cronkite News. Get real professional experience in areas such as reporting, broadcast editing, and behind-the-scenes production, such as technical director and audio.
Kill the mics.
Or go out in the field and cover important local stories
Learn and master the English language.
in a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Cronkite News. The future starts now.
Here at the Walter Cronkite School, students produce award-winning content that focuses on health disparities in underserved communities and how to turn things around. In Cronkite News and Cronkite Noticias, students cover stories that affect people of color, the LGBTQ+ community, people with disabilities, and others across the Southwest.
We highlight big problems that are often overlooked in communities that are underserved.
Those stories not only inform and educate people about the challenges, but we work hard to highlight potential solutions. In the Cronkite Agency, students work to connect with community members through social media campaigns in English and Spanish.
Being a Hispanic myself, it's nice to be able to give back to my own community.
Find more of our health coverage at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
You know, Matt, they say politics is a dog-eat-dog world.
That's right, and in this political climate, who better to bring to the people together than a man's best friend?
Yeah, this is Miko, and he's running for the mayor of Anchorage, Alaska with the help of his owner, or in this case, his campaign manager, Robert Ziegler. Many locals have rallied behind Miko because of his indifference to partisan politics. Even though he's a dog, Ziegler says he can still be influenced, not by lobbyists or special interest groups, but with dog treats. With Election Day right around the corner, you can bet that Miko's opponents are gearing up for a rough campaign battle.
You'll have to get more dog treats to keep an eye on that campaign down the stretch there in Alaska.
Yeah.
That's it for Cronkite News. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.